Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. I'm looking a little tired today. I apologize. It's been a week. It's been a couple weeks. Definitely, feeling these solar eclipse energies. I'm usually very tuned in, and I just didn't even realize that. What was it, 2 days ago that we had the eclipse? Definitely feeling it. On the other side of it, definitely. So the way I've been experiencing this is sealing out, closing out old connections, old, things that you probably have already ended, right? You've moved past, you've moved on, but there's still like these lingering bits, right, of lessons, let's say, or uh, realizations, awareness, um, kind of like, oh, okay, I'm done now, you know, I get it now. I can truly move past this now. I can truly move on fully now. Um, where you had done the work, right? Moved through a lot of the aspects of the relationship, the experience, um, the truth, and coming into this completion, right? Like, okay, I've explored it. I've learned about myself from it. I've learned about others from it. I am I can be at peace with it. I can realize how it supported my growth and my expansion and my I get the word livelihood, but I don't know. It served its purpose. And right, and that's not to negate any pain um, that you experienced potentially through it, right? Trauma, pain, suffering, stress, unknowingness, um, harm. Um, but it's like it's resolved itself. It's clear now. It's done. You're safe, right? You're out of it. You've completed that lesson. Um, and so I just want you to kind of tune into that, right? Tune into that. Tune into this. Okay, right? Being settled in the body and this new way moving forward from it, from your past, right? Being in the present moment. Being at peace, acceptance, surrender. And not necessarily, I know for me, like, clarity is always a big thing that I'm looking for. Like, clarity, what steps do I need to take? What's the next step? Um, you know, what do I need to focus on, right? And I've realized, and I'd set some intentions around this space, right? This time. Um, and I guess I'll just share them. So some of the intentions that I had um, set for myself were like all parts of myself reclaimed, centered within, embodied in my authentic expression, aligned within my capacity to anchor in my truth and my worth, anchored in my truth and my worth, clarity and direction for my current focus, right? Finding my voice in the midst of chaos. And from that point forward is what will unfold, and what will manifest is through my intentions, right? It doesn't happen outside of you, it happens within you, right? And I actually have to connect to this. It can't just be words, right? What does that truly mean to be centered within myself? How do I relate to and move through imbalances, or where I feel like I'm pulled, right, in other directions? And I'm kind of experiencing this right now because of I'm a doula, and I wasn't able to be with my client, one of my clients who was laboring, and so I had to call in a backup doula, and it was, I had some childcare issues at home, and it just became too much. And I had to just center within, right? Realize, what do I have access to, right? What can I work with in order to make sure that everybody's taken care of? And so I centered myself within that space, knowing that I cannot please everybody, and knowing that, it's a kind of a shitty space to be in, and it wasn't, my fault. My child care, which had been very constant since my daughter was 6 weeks, kind of fell apart over the last couple weeks for various reasons. And I've been, scrambling in some sense, but also just moving through it, right? I'm grieving that loss of that dependability that I had. And I'm transitioning into a new space, and I have to figure everything out now, right? In this new space, and not having access to certain things that I may have had access to, right? And I was quite proud of myself for how I handled it. But I get the sense, and it's been confirmed, that, my client's not happy that I wasn't there. They're frustrated. Which I understand and I can empathize with completely, but at the same time, life happens. I cannot please everybody, and people pleasing has always been a very fawning, right? A big trauma response for me. Reality of, how I've operated, right? Wanting to please everybody, needing to please everybody, that somehow that's going to give me some kind of sense of security and safety within my life. And it may satiate, but it doesn't get to the root, which, right, is like true, like embodied security and safety within yourself, right? Within yourself. Not within relationship to another, but within yourself. And sometimes you just, all right, it's not easy. It can be very painful, especially since that's your normal go-to response of how you interact and be within the world. It's not just, I'm going to stop people pleasing. Like, it is a deeply embodied process, because your nervous system has held in onto this way of thinking, operating, being within energies, within the current moment, within experiences and feelings and sensations. So you don't have to feel certain things, right? You go to this thing in order to avoid that feeling or that unknown. And so you operate in that way in order to, again, but it's not truly, right? And for me, it was like, look, this was the best path forward for everybody in the end, right? Even if I had managed to figure something out. I don't think I could have held the right kind of space that you need to within the birth space for them. And so called in a backup, right? Got somebody else to show up who was more than competent and a good choice, right? But some people will just be stuck in those feelings, and I have to accept that just is. Right, but I can look at I can reflect upon my own choices and inner being, and I can feel at peace. Right, I can create that own security within. I have a contract that lays everything out, that says, if there is some type of emergency and I'm not able to attend your birth, you will have somebody there for you, which I provided for. Would I have loved to be there? Yes, I think. But maybe there was a reason I wasn't there too. And I could feel it so deeply in my body, and my body was like, nope, this is what you're going to do. And so that's how I was within it. And now I have to let the chips fall where they may. I cannot try and control people's perceptions of things, or, you just, right, that's where they're at, right? I'm here, I'm at peace, I'm settled, I feel good about it, the best that I can feel about myself within it, right? That's their stuff to work through. Like, go enjoy your baby, rest, right? You had in-person support, you had somebody there, somebody showed up for you, you weren't abandoned, you were held, you were, may not have been ideal, but that is their lesson to learn, right? Not mine. All I can do is be authentic in my truth and my expression and where I'm at, and operate to the best of my capacity. So where are you on your journey? How have you learned to create for yourself, create experiences for yourself that are positive, and let the chips fall where they may? Another way this is showing up for me is so I don't know exactly what I want to share. I'm just trying to figure it out, but right, where this is more of that, like, detaching from the outcome. If you ever look at, like, manifestation work, right? Right, you set your intentions, you create a plan, you take the action steps, but then what happens next? You have to detach from the outcome. You cannot try to control the outcome or to make it, because then you're, right, that's not, what do I want to say with this? That is, when you are attached to the outcome, you are attached to a certain experience, you are trying to control it, and therefore you are, number one, not embodying in your authentic expression, is what I get. But number two, and I don't want to say you're not following the rules, it's that that is where disappointment comes in. That is where pain, that is where suffering comes in. When you are attached to a specific outcome or a specific way of something, or an ending point of where something's going to be, and then it must be that way. And if it's not that way, then, you're a failure, and you feel abandoned, and there's a way of being that will release you from so much pain and suffering. And it's not an easy way of being, because most people do not exist in this world like that, as that, right? So it's not easy to model, you could say, right? Or you don't see it very often. First. And two, we are very focused on, right, our survival and how to survive. And so you have various ways of being within that. And at some point, it just becomes a choice, right? It just becomes a choice to evolve and expand and move into a different way of being. And that is, right, what many of us are here for, is that. And it's just a choice. It's just a choice. How do you want to be within this world? How do you want to feel in your body? How do you move through unpleasant feelings and sensations? So you have full access to your body and to your awareness and capacity for change, right? It's within your body. And the more connected you are, the better you will feel. The easier it will be to move through things that just don't feel good. And to get back into that feeling good in the body. About yourself, about how you are, about your place within the world. And it's not ego. It is a feeling settled, feeling at peace within. And allowing the chips to fall where they may. And trusting the unfolding. It reminds me a lot of like grief. Like I love grief work. Like grieving is my, like it has been very magical for me. And I have really learned how to allow myself to grieve openly and freely and without judgment and without constraint, because of extreme loss that I've experienced. And grieving is beautiful. It's such a release, and you can feel it so deeply in the body, and that and through that release, that connection you have to the other side, to all things. It's powerful. Very powerful. And it's a body physiological process. It's a physiological process. And when you allow it to just run rampant, and I'm not saying, to excuse bad behavior. It's not what I'm saying. But to hold compassion and awareness and yourself. It's really powerful medicine. And so grieving where you've experienced loss, right? And so that's when you are very in touch and you are not afraid to grieve and you are not afraid of loss, because you know that it is just a part of being here. or rejection or etc., right? Those experiences that you may have had in the past that were very painful, right? And when you learn how to tune into the realization that anything that you experience, your body can handle and move through and grow from, right? You become a little bit less afraid of living and being within that authentic expression, because you know that you can move through anything. And that fearlessness and that security within will shine through and will be very attractive to others. That groundedness, that assuredness. And people need that, and they are looking for that because they don't have it. And that in and of itself is a thing. And learning to set boundaries. You don't have to give access to, you don't have to provide access to you to everybody. That is a gift that you give. So I'll leave it there. Happy solar eclipse. Transformation. And I feel like I want to leave you with something to, I'd love to hear how you're experiencing these energies and how you are showing up for yourself. Please comment below, like, share this. Sorry about the barking in the background. Soju! We're fostering a dog right now. I came from Korea. I'd love to hear your experiences below, and do please share, subscribe. And if you're looking for any support or assistance, I do offer session work. We can unpack what may be going on for you, and work through some of those sensations so you can become more embodied, expansive, feel better in the body, right? I can hold that space with you to support you and assist you in that inner work that you may need some support with. Feel free to reach out. I'll put my email below. And until next time, Tulu.